The 2019 Citizenship Amendment Act, which the Supreme Court chose not to intervene over or to change or modify or demand that the government rethink. To many legal observers, it challenges a fundamental principle that in India, under your constitution, all citizens are treated equally, irrespective of their religion, because this particular citizenship law gives a different sort of privilege on the pathway to citizenship for those from neighboring countries who come to India who are not Muslim. Muslims do not enjoy the same privileges. How is that squaring with the principles underpinning your constitution?
There again, Stephen, your assessment that, our court has allowed the amendment to pass through is incorrect because the case is pending before the court. There's a presumption
Shouldn't you have dealt with it with great urgency, because the Muslim population of this country regards it as a fundamental signal that they are second-class citizens.
Let's be clear about constitutional principles. There's a presumption of the constitutionality of a statute. If this were to take place in the UK, the court would have no power to invalidate it. In India, we have the power to invalidate legislation which courts across democratically...
And you've chosen, in this case, not to deploy it.
The case is still pending. Now...
That's my point. This is, for Muslim people in India, of the utmost importance.
Stephen,
and yet you tell me, well, we'll consider it when the time is right.
No, Stephen, we have important... I disposed of I wrote about 62 judgments for the Constitution bench through my tenure. Now, the fact of the matter is this. We had constitutional cases which were pending for 20 years, dealing with critical issues of federalism, which we have dealt with, giving more power to the states. We dealt with, for instance, you talked about Muslims. We dealt with the issue as to whether the Aligarh Muslim University should have minority status. We reversed a judgment which was written by the Supreme Court in 1968. Now, the question is this, and that's the question where you have to draw a balance. Do you take up new cases at the cost of old cases? If you do that, you'll be criticized that, this Chief Justice is assigning priority to new cases when you have old cases which are pending. Or do you also deal with the seminal old cases? I took up lots of old cases, yet combined it with some of the new cases as well. And this case will be dealt with in its due course by my court, my successor.